Misandry can be found all over the world. In this installment, I'm going to talk about the Misandry commercials from other countries. Thanks go out to Men in Revolt for posting these. This one is from Switzerland. It's an ad where we see a bunch of women wheeling their shopping carts and returning their husbands. Just imagine the outrage there would be if there was a commercial where there's a bunch of men returning their wives. Because portraying women as disposable objects is sexist, but treating men like disposable objects is supposed to get a laugh. Not only are men disposable, but the rest of these commercials will portray them as clumsy, disgusting, stupid, and inferior to women. Here's one with a white male waiting at the bus stop with his mouth open and shoes untied, and he's made out to look dumb. And of course the woman ties his shoes for him as if he were a child. This one is a Belgian insurance and bank commercial where we see a man scratching his ass, splattering coffee everywhere with a knife and using it to scrape some butter, scratching his armpits and using the same hand to pick up his food, scratching his balls, and drinking out of the carton. Reverse the genders and it would be unacceptable. It's amazing how sexism only gets recognized if it was to happen to women, but not when it happens to men. This is because commercials where the genders are reversed are either non-existent or rare at best. So if they ever did occur, people would notice. But misandry and sexism against men is so common that not many people even think about it. It's just your normal everyday thing. The rest of these commercials are German. Here's one with the guy who wanted to prevent others from inhaling a cigarette smoke, so he put himself in a little bubble. Clearly, this doesn't work out too well. So even though this man had good intentions, he still messes it up. They are portraying the man as someone who is clumsy, has a bad habit, and has terrible ideas. They could have had a woman instead of a man, but they chose not to. I wonder why. So here we have a couple. His arm is around her shoulder, but of course her arm isn't around his shoulder. Uh-oh, he hasn't thought of how to finance the mortgage. That's not their problem, that's his problem, right? And upon hearing that, she backs away from him and gives him that look with her arms crossed. I mean, why is this all on him? Why not have the man back away from the woman and he gives her that very same look with his arms crossed? As the commercial goes on, it's only the woman who is listening intently to the information and jotting some notes down, while the man just dances like a schmuck.
Bekommen Sie beste Konditionen und zahlen keinen Cent extra. Gleich Termin vereinbaren oder informieren unter www.interhyp.de. Interhyp Baufinanzierung.
In this one, we have a man pestering his wife about where he put his socks and ties. So not only is this woman portrayed as a successful businesswoman who can clearly take care of herself, but she also has to look after the man who is like an immature child and needs her to tell him where everything is. She is very organized and has to take care of everybody, whereas the man is just an embarrassment who can't even take care of himself. Can you imagine the outrage if the genders were reversed? It would be considered sexist if we had a successful businessman constantly telling his dependent wife where she put her socks or where she put her purse. And why don't we make this other guy look stupid too for good measure, just in case this commercial wasn't sexist enough. Here's one with the woman just standing there watching a man trying to fix the sink. And as you would expect, he messes it up. Yet she gets stressed out. Yeah, so she deserves the cup of coffee, right? After her stress of watching someone else do some work. The man who is actually doing something doesn't deserve a cup of that. What is it with these women in the media just standing there watching the man and not bothering to help out? The man messes up plumbing? She doesn't help him. Instead, she gets a cup of coffee. This man is struggling with the Christmas tree? She doesn't help him. Instead, she just shakes her head, rolls her eyes, and laughs at him. He loses control of the power hose? She doesn't help him. Instead, she just takes some Excedrin. It's bad enough that men are portrayed as idiots who can't do laundry, but they even mess up jobs that are considered to be a man's job. Imagine a commercial where a woman is messing up a man's laundry and the man is just standing there watching her make a mess and he gets to drink a cup of coffee because she messed up. A commercial like that would not go over too well, I'll tell you that much. In this one, we have a man massaging a woman's feet while she's reading a book. Well, we're off to a great start already, aren't we, folks?
Schatz? Habe ich dir schon gesagt, dass ich mich mit 65 von dir scheiden lasse?
Was?
Na, mit meiner fetten Rente kann ich mir dann locker einen knackigen Jüngeren leisten.
Wow, so she tells her slave that she will divorce him for a younger guy when she turns 65. How enchanting. Here's another very touching one where the mother and daughter are discussing the things they are going to buy when the father is dead. Yeah, man, hurry up and die already so we can profit from it. What's even more disturbing is how these commercials are supposed to be funny. The girls here aren't portrayed as terrible people for talking about what they get with the life insurance when he dies, and right in front of him, no less. Can you imagine a commercial where a father and son were talking about what they'd get from the life insurance they'd collect from the mother when she dies? How about some commercials containing violence against men? Why not? So we have a woman who is asking her husband for his opinion on this dress. He doesn't care for it, so she does what any mature woman would do, and she throws the dress at him. Which is interesting because if he said he did like it, but didn't mean it, she'd probably have the same reaction because he wasn't being honest with her. So his reaction to her aggression is playfully tossing a pillow at her. Rather than just forgetting about it at this point, she tosses the pillow back, and it just escalates from there. How does this commercial end? She beats the shit out of him with the catalog.
Stop! He's already dead.
Imagine a commercial where a man asks his wife, "Hey honey, what do you think of this tie?" And then he beats the shit out of her because she told him that she didn't like the tie. Well, actually, I can't imagine a commercial like that. Oh yeah, a scene like that would be on a serious commercial about stopping domestic violence against women, and the violence would be portrayed in a negative light. It sure as hell wouldn't be considered fun or entertaining like violence against men is apparently supposed to be. Man beats a woman? That's terrible. It's domestic abuse. Woman beats a man? That's funny. He deserved it. He had it coming. Ha ha ha. In this one, we have a man sleeping. So anyway, his snoring is obviously bothering her, so pop quiz. What do you think she does? I'll give you 3 choices. Does she A, leave the room to get away from the snoring, B, gently wake him up, or C, whack him across the face with a catalog? Go ahead, take your time. I'll wait. The correct answer was C. Go figure. Imagine if a man whacked a woman across the face because she was snoring too loudly. We can't have that for 2 reasons. First of all, we can't ever show violence against a woman in a positive light. And second of all, we can't ever show a woman snoring. In this one, we have a guy who apparently said something offensive to this woman, but we don't even hear anything. For all we know, he could have said, "Hey, are you going to make some copies?" We don't know. Anyway, she throws her paperwork down and headbutts the guy. She walks away all proud of herself. Hey, I've seen this before. A woman hitting a man and being all proud of herself because of it. I guess we're to assume he said something along the lines of, "Hey, I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you go." And that's what made her angry. That's an excuse for her to charge at him. Yet if a woman said the exact same thing to a man, not only doesn't he have the right to hit her, he's supposed to be flattered. In this one, we have a man being a cheater. Wow, I think we've officially covered all the negative male stereotypes at this point.
Kein Auto zu sehen.
Es tut mir leid, aber ich hatte eine Panne.
Anyway, she's not buying his excuse and she slaps him. And listen to what she has to say.
Ja, das ist natürlich eine
Really? And would you think it was so funny if the genders were reversed?
diese Beziehungsebene hat, Mann, Frau, und der Mann sagt, er hat eine Panne, die Frau knallt ihm eine, weil dieses Auto hat keine Panne. Also das ist natürlich lustig, dass eine Autogeschichte im Grunde genommen so über diese...
This is violence against the man, and she has absolutely no shame in saying that it's very funny. So we have an arm wrestling competition. This blonde woman wants in and of course ends up winning. How, you may ask? She kicked him in the balls.
Страховая группа «Прогресс». Чувство локтя.
All these commercials have not only portrayed men in a negative way, but they all portray female superiority. Men are just inferior to women. This next commercial is solely about that.
Die Welt ist weiblich. Sie hat Stil. Sie ist leidenschaftlich. Sie ist Kosmopolitin. Sie ist schön. Und sie hat Gefühle.
I love that last one. Apparently men don't have feelings, I guess.
Frauen können nicht nur alles, Frauen können immer. Täglich neu auf fem.com.
Now, even though women are portrayed as being the superior gender, they still hold the victim card. This next commercial is showing a homeless woman who's putting makeup on. Ah, so this commercial is about homeless people, right? No, just homeless women. And what about men without a home? Nah, who cares about them? First of all, homelessness is more of a problem with men. There are plenty more homeless men than there are homeless women. But even if that wasn't the case, let's say they were about equal in number, or let's even say there were more female homeless. Why focus solely on supporting female homeless and excluding male homeless and leaving them out in the dust? If you only focused on men, that would be sexist. But focusing your attention on women only is perfectly fine, though. Men really are the ignored gender.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever. When you kiss me, fever.
Why don't we ever see a woman sleeping on the couch?